This is Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the new Zac Hat, which is a children's summer bucket hat. This pattern now has 3 sizes. There is an infant size that measures about a 11 to 12 inch head. There's a medium size that measures about a 13 to 14 inch head. And then there is the large or child size, which measures about a 15 to 16 inch head. Now there's a little play in the inches because this hat is intended to fit loose. It's a summer hat that you can just plop right on your child's head, and it works great for boys and girls. And I think it would be lots of fun just to make it in your child's favorite colors. Now this is a free crochet pattern with all 3 sizes on it on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. What you will need to make a Zac hat for your child is either some medium weight cotton blend, or worsted weight number 4 yarns. As long as it's a number 4, it will work. These two are made with, I love this cotton yarns in variegated. I don't remember the colors, I just happen to have them on hand to test the pattern. You're going to need a main color. And then you'll need, like this one, I used a white trim here, white for the band here, and white at the trim at the bottom of the hat. This one is all variegated except for the yellow trim here. I did a row of green and a row of yellow, and then I ended with a row of green for my trim. So it's up to you what colors that you want to use. For today's demonstration, I'm going to be using worsted weight number 4. The main part of my hat is going to be lavender, and then I'm going to use this light pink and light yellow for the trims and the bands. And I'm using this color because this is something that was requested from a friend, so I'm going to do the demonstration and give it to my friend. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook, and it's a 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. You're also going to need a needle for weaving in your ends, and of course you'll need your scissors. For today's demonstration, I'm going to be making the large size hat, which is the child 15 to 16 inches, and then I'll explain to you how to make the small and medium as we go along. We're going to begin with a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 5. These first 3 rows are the same for all 3 sizes of hats. We chain 5, we join that into a circle, we make that little stay knot, we'll put our hook in that chain 5, pull up a loop, and chain 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 9 more double crochets in this chain 5 loop. And if you'll notice, I am stitching over that tail of yarn. And I do that with this technique. That way I can close up the hole and not have a hole in the top of my hat. Alright, let's see how many I've stitched. Here's my chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 2 more double crochets. Here's 9 and 10. Alright, so I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. There's row 1, 10 double crochets. We're going to turn it over and just gently tug on that string that closes up that hole, and we can weave that in later. So there's row 1. We've chained 3, and for row 2, this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the same stitch as that chain 3, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around. And we started with 10, and this is going to give us 20. 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around. Then we'll join to the chain 3 and chain 3. I have completed row 2, stitching 2 double crochets in each stitch around. I joined with a slip stitch and chained 3. Row 3 is similar to row 2. We're going to stitch a double crochet in the same stitch as our chain, 3, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in each of the stitches around. And this is how we get that flat top of our bucket hat. So we have 20 double crochets, and we're stitching 2 double crochets in each of those, so we're going to have 40 double crochets. And again, this row up through row 3 is the same for all 3 sizes. 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around, and then we'll join to the chain 3 like we did on the previous row. If you're making the small size or the infant size, you'll want to skip ahead to R6, which is row 6. If you're making the medium or large, we're going to do another row. All right, so we've joined to our chain 3, and we're going to chain 3. We're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. Then we'll stitch a double crochet in the next. And what we're doing on row 4 for medium and large sizes is 2 double crochets in the next double crochet and 1 double crochet in the next, 2 double crochets in the next double crochet, and 1 double crochet in the next. And we'll repeat this 2 and 1, 2 and 1, working all the way around row 4, and then we'll join to the top of our chain 3. 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in the next, 2 and 1. I've completed row 4. Now, if you're making the medium size hat, you'll want to skip to R6, which is row 6. And if you're making the large like I am, we're going to do one more row, row 5, and then we'll do row 6. The way row 5 works is we're going to place 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 2. One double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 double crochets in the next. I call this 2 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 2, and then 2 double crochets in the next. And we'll repeat this all the way around, and then we'll join to the top of our chain 3. If you notice, the top of this hat is nice and flat, and that's what we want it to do, whether you're doing the small, the medium, or the large. We want all three of them to have a nice flat top, and that is what gives the effect of a bucket hat, and also makes it very comfortable for wearing. All right, so I'm going to work on around, working 2 and 2, 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and 2 double crochets in the next till I reach all the way back around to my chain 3. Then I'll join and show you how to do our 6 for all 3 sizes. I've completed row 5. I joined to the top of my chain 3, but I'm not going to chain 3 because I'm going to do a row of single crochets working in the front loops all the way around. This row is done exactly the same for all 3 sizes. The only difference is the small has only 3 rows, the medium has 4, and the large has 5. Leave your main color of yarn attached. And now we're going to bring in our color 2. If you're not changing colors here, then you don't have to do this little step. We're leaving the purple or our main color attached because we're only doing 1 row with the other color or color 2, and then we'll be bringing the purple or the main color back in. What we're going to be doing on this row is stitching in the front loops. We'll be stitching single crochets. If you look on your row of loops on the top, you have loops on both sides. The loops that are on this side of your stitches right here are your front loops. The loops that are on the back side or facing away from you are the back loops. We're going to be placing 1 single crochet in each of the front loops around. And like I said, this is for all 3 sizes. So we'll go in the first front loop and stitch a single crochet. And we'll do this all the way around, only stitching in that front loop. 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around, only working in the front loops. I'm going to do a few stitches and then we're going to look at the back side so you can see what it looks like. All right, when you stitch in the front loops, you're going to see there's a line back here. When we come back in and do row 7, we're going to be stitching in those back loops. So make sure you don't stitch in those back loops. All right, so we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the front loops around. Here's what it looks like on the front, and here's what it looks like on the back. I've completed that row of single crochets working in the front loops only. Here's the front, and this is what the back looks like, and you'll see you have that ridge of where we didn't stitch in the back loops all the way around. We're going to join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch, and we're going to cut our yarn and tie off. Now what I like to do so it lays nice and pretty is to go in the next stitch, pull that loop in, and then tie off to the back. And those of course can be weaved in later, but that makes a nice smooth look where we joined. All right, now for row 7, we're going to grab our main color. Just disregard those 2 strings. We'll work those in later. We're going to go right in that first back loop and stitch a chain 3 that counts as 1 double crochet, and then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in each of the back loops around. And this technique is really good because it gives it that neat effect of where these are going to stand up. Now you'll notice you've got these 2 sticking out here. When we come around and join, we'll bring those to the inside when we join back to our chain 3. So for row 7, we're working 1 double crochet in each of the stitches around, working in those back loops. And see how that looks? It's going to make it so that it sits down and this row sticks up. Alrighty, great effect. Alright, so 1 double crochet in each stitch around, working in the back loops only. And again, this is for all 3 sizes, and your stitch counts are the same because we haven't added or subtracted any stitches. I finished this row of 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, stitching in the back loops only. Now I've pulled those 2 strings to the inside of my hat from that trim that we added, and I'm going to join to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now this next row is the same for all the sizes. We're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. And now we're forming the sides of our bucket hat. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. No stitching in the front or back loops, just regular row double crochets going through both loops. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. I've completed row 8, which is 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. And now, if you're going to be making the small size, which is the infant, you'll need to repeat row 8 2 more times. If you're making the medium, which is the toddler size, you'll need to repeat row 8 3 more times. And if you're making the large, like I am, you'll need to repeat row 8 4 more times. All right, so let's get busy making those rows for the size that we need. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around and join, chain 3, and repeat for as many rows as you need for the size that you're making. I've completed up through row 12 because I'm doing the large size. If you were doing the small size, you would be up through row 10. And if you're doing the medium, you would be up through row 11. Since I'm doing the large size, I'm up through row 12. I'm going to leave my main color attached and bring in my number 3 color. And I'm using this pink. And now we're going to stitch what I call hat band portion. And we're just going to stitch 2 rows of half double crochets. So we're only going to chain 2. We're going to place 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches around. Half double crochet is yarn over, go through the stitch and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 3 of those loops. We're going to stitch 2 rows of half double crochet. I'm stitching 1 in pink and 1 in yellow. You can stitch them both in the same color, or you can stitch them in the same color as the hat if you're doing it all in one color. I've completed that row of half double crochets. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 2 with a slip stitch, and I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm done with the pink for right now. And I'm going to bring back in my yellow, and I'm still leaving my main color attached. So I'm going to bring my yellow in because I'm making a second row of half double crochets. Now you can do your half double crochets the same color if you're only using two colors, or you can make it the same color as your main hat. It doesn't matter because you are choosing the colors you want to use. And so what we're going to do now is we're just going to place a half double crochet in each of the half double crochets around. One half double crochet in each half double crochet, working all the way around this hat. So I'm placing one half double crochet in each of the half double crochets around, working all the way around our hat, and then we'll join back to the chain 2. I've completed my second row of half double crochets. I cut my yarn, and now I'm going to bring back in my main color, which is my purple or my lavender. And we'll snug that down and we'll weave those in later. We'll just tuck them inside for right now. We're going to chain 3, and we're going to begin forming the brim of the hat. So we're going to place a double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3. We'll stitch one double crochet in the next stitch, and then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next. The way that this row will work is we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next and 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochets in the next, and this will cause the brim of the hat to start to flare out. Because after all, we want it to keep the sun out of our child's eyes and not let them get a sunburn. One double crochet in the next and 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. Working all the way around this row. 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets in the next. You can already see it starting to flare out. I've completed this row. 2 double crochets in one, 1 in the next, repeat all the way around, starting to make the brim of our hat to flare. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3, and then I'm going to chain 3. This next row, we're just stitching 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, and then we're going to put the trim on. 2 more rows and we'll be all finished with our bucket hat. So 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, and then we'll join back to our chain 3. And then we can add the trim. Now we're ready for the last row of trim. I've joined to my chain 3, and I'm going to cut my yarn. We're all done with our main color. I'm using this pink that I used here for my trim. So we'll bring that in, and all we're going to do for the trim is stitch 1 single crochet in each single crochet around. It helps our hat hold its shape, but it also ties in the colors that I've used. I've got yellow here, and I've got pink here and then on the trim, and then my main color. This very last row, no matter what size hat you've made, is 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets around, working all the way around the brim of our hat, and then we'll join back to our first single crochet. One single crochet in each stitch around, and like I said, we'll join right back to our first single crochet, and then we'll be done. I have completed that final row of single crochets, and I'm going to join to the first single crochet of that row and cut my yarn. And we're going to go to the next stitch and pull that loop through and then tie off. Now I do have a few more strings to weave in, but this is how the large bucket hat should look. So here are the 3 bucket hats: the large, the medium, and the small. Small for infant, medium for toddler, and large for child. And again, you can find the written pattern on my blog so you can get those exact measurements. Keep in mind, this hat is supposed to fit loosely and comfortably on your child.